What would you say the modern entrepreneur is missing?
Patience.
Patience in?
It just takes time. I mean, listen, I love day trading. like I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm on this, Bitcoin, crypto. Like what's happening, with the IPO the next time. Like, listen, I want to make money now, but I know that it took 18 years to have Hero on a level where it's running itself. It took Global Lead a decade to have it going and running and have the right team. It took Addo, almost a decade as well to have, the systems, the processes, the things in place. And it's like, and I get it. Like I was just as hungry then as I am now. I wanted it just as bad tomorrow as I do today. But I think that when you really take a step back, if you're really, really honest, it's the founder of Chick-fil-A, so Truett Cathy. There's a famous Chick-fil-A story where Chick-fil-A, they were actually early in the days, they were getting beat by Boston Market. Boston Market was taking up a lot of money from private equity companies. They were building out super fast. They were getting all the market share. They were getting the best land, and they were actually beating Chick-fil-A. And so they said, hey, we've got to do something. We've got to do something. And so they said, hey, we're going to take on all this investment money. We're going to expand like crazy. We're going to really, go for it big time immediately. And Truett Cathy, calm, at the end of the board table, with all the executives around him. He takes his fist and he's like, bam, 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 bam. He's like, we're going to get better before we get bigger. And if we get better, our customers will demand that we get bigger. Case closed. And now Boston Market, 20 years later, and
a lot of locations.
Chick-fil-A, where we're at now, again, patience.
Yeah. No, it's anytime because that's a question that I often seek, somebody's response to. And the number of times I'm hearing this damn patience, and there must be something to it.
And you don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. None of us want to hear it.
I think a lot of times people are actually asking for it's like, what's going to get it to me now?
Right.
And so just that whole, there is something that just time can never, nothing can really beat it, right. Because of the perspective that it provides. And that's only my brief life so far is just sometimes the way that you can feel, just even that idea of just sleep on that idea.
Yeah.
Like that's being patient with making a decision, patient with finding the right life partner,
right.
Patient with the right business partners, patient with the right locations, because obviously, once again, devil in the details, right. To get to where you're 10 years deep, 15, 20 years deep in something, a lot of decisions have to be made along the way.
Right.
When you're making them, it's like, look, do we go here next? I spent a year in Kenya. Damn, do I go next door? Do I jump to the other side? Because even as I was trying to work around in my mind how you decided where to how to structure your trips,
sure.
Like even that's something that is a lot of thought goes into it, and it influences where you might go next. Like to me, in my head, I was kind of joking to myself, like, damn, South America's the place you haven't finished.
I know, right? Yeah. And that's the thing. It's all, the long game, right? Like it's just the long game. And we don't want to hear it. We don't want to talk about it. It's not sexy. It doesn't make the headlines. But I mean, Elon, we love Elon. Elon's fun and cool, and everyone wants to be Elon Musk now.
Yeah.
But back in the day when he was at PayPal grinding with those guys, and he, it worked, but he was slaving away for, decades at PayPal to get a paycheck and then a buyout, and then he immediately put his money into Tesla and SpaceX and went back to, he's like, if neither one of these things work, I got to borrow rent money for the next month, And it's cool to like Elon now, but back in the day, he was working just as hard as we were.
Yeah, and I think another way one could framework patience is they say that the greatest force in the universe is compound interest, and that can only take place over time, and that's right there where patience plays. So I think in one's own life, their journey of entrepreneurship, relationships, whatever, you can only allow the compound gains of what is being done to take place. You only realize those fruits if one allows the patience. So.
Absolutely. Totally agree.